Today's video is the part 3 of the series on discernment that I have created. If you followed along, you know that discernment is about more than just making better choices. It's about reclaiming your energy, your time, and your life. In part 1, we explored why discernment is your greatest tool in today's noisy, attention-driven world. In part 2, we got practical, diving into tools and exercises to help you strengthen your ability to discern. And now today, we are going to be putting all together. I'm going to be talking about how to design a life aligned with your truth, one that feels intentional, grounded, and fulfilling. And by the end of this video, you will have actionable steps and reflection prompts applying into your own everyday life. Intentional living is not about lofty ideas or big life change decisions necessarily. It's also about small everyday choices. But here's the thing. You can't live intentionally if you don't know what matters to you, right? And that's where discernment comes in. Discernment is the bridge between you and what you value and how you live. It helps you to filter out the noise and recognize what truly is important and make decisions that aligns with your goals and aspirations. So take a moment to reflect. What are the 3 things that matters the most in your life? Does the way you spend your time and energy reflect those values? For many of us, there is a disconnect, and that's okay. It's not about judging yourself. It's about using discernment to close the gap and bring your life into alignment. So let's use an example. Imagine you value health, creativity, and connection. Now, consider your daily routine. Are you eating well and moving your body in ways that support your health? Are you carving out time for creative expression? Are you nurturing relationships that brings you joy? If the answer to any of those questions is not really, that's where discernment comes in. Discernment allows you to see where your energy is going and whether it's aligned with your values. From there, you can make small intentional changes. Intentional living doesn't really mean every moment has to be perfect. I hope you already know that. But it's about the progress. Each choice you make, no matter how small, becomes an opportunity to bring your actions closer to your values. Let me now just ask you, what's one area of your life you feel out of alignment with your values? And what's one small step you could take today to realign? Next, I would like to take a look at a concept from Carl Jung called individuation. It's the process of becoming your whole self, integrating all the parts of you, even the ones that you're taught to suppress. It's about stepping into your own truth and living authentically while staying connected to the world around you. For you to understand individuation, it helps to think about the stories that you have inherited. Stories about who you should be, how you should behave, and what success looks like. These stories often come from our family, culture, or society. And while they might serve the purpose at some point, they are not always aligned with your authentic self. And here is an example. Imagine you grew up in an environment where success was defined by external achievements, for example, getting good grades, landing a prestigious job, or meeting societal milestones, for example. Over time, you internalized those expectations and built a life around them. Problem is, deep inside, you feel disconnected. You start to realize that the life you're living is a reflection of what others expect of you, someone else's script. Discernment is what allows you to pause, reflect, and ask, is this truly mine? Or is this something I've been carrying because I thought I had to? So you see, the process of individuation then is about letting go what's not yours and embracing what it is. It's not easy. It requires honesty, courage, and discernment, but it's deeply freeing. Now I want to offer you some practical steps. Start by reflecting on your belief system. Take a moment to examine the beliefs and expectations you have carried through your life. Ask yourself, where they come from, and whether they still serve you at all. Spend time reconnecting with your authentic self and reflecting and asking yourself, what really brings you joy and sparks curiosity within you? Those are simple but important clues to your true self. Take small actions. Start by living in alignment with your truth, even in small ways. This might simply mean pursuing a hobby that you always loved, or setting boundaries in a relationship, for example. Let me ask you something to assist you in this process. What is one belief system or expectation you have carried that no longer really feels right or feels like yours? What do it look like if you would release these and live more authentically? As you move through individuation, remember that it's really about the process of integrating and not really the destination. And of course, there will be moments that it will feel challenging and you might even doubt yourself. But remember that each step you take brings you closer to a more meaningful, fulfilled life. Now, there is something here incredibly important, in my opinion, your environment. Because this is often the missing piece when it comes to living a life that is aligned with your truth. See, our surroundings have a profound impact on our well-being more than we ever realize. The people we interact with, the spaces we inhabit, and the routines we follow all shape how we feel and how we show up in the world we live. In fact, one of my favorite quotes comes from a Buddhist monk, and he said, one of the most important things in life is learning to place yourself in an environment that aligns with your values and temperament. Now, take a moment to think about that. Are your relationships, your work, or even your physical space aligned with your values? Or are they pulling you away from the life you want to create? Now, let's talk about some practical ways you can curate your environment. Spend some time with people that uplift and inspire you, and gently distance yourself from those who drain your energy. I have done that. This doesn't mean cutting off people abruptly. It's just about recognizing where your energy goes and making adjustments as needed. Also, is crucial. Create a sanctuary at home, a space that feels calming, grounding, and uniquely yours as much as possible. This could be as simple as decluttering a corner of your room or adding elements that bring you joy, like plants or artwork. This is something that a lot of us forget, but curate your social media to align with your values. Unfollow accounts that promote negativity or comparison and engage with content that inspires and uplifts you. But there is another layer that I would like you to consider. The routines and the habits that shape your environment. Do your daily habits support your well-being? Or are they working against you? What is one change you can make in your environment that would bring you closer to alignment with your temperament and your values? And remember, your environment is not just about your external world, but also your internal world. When your surroundings support you, your values, living in alignment with your truth becomes much easier. Now, I really would like to address a common misconception about discernment that is about avoiding conflict or discomfort. In reality, discernment isn't about bypassing challenges, it's about choosing how to engage with them in a way that aligns with your values and long term goals. Let me give you an example here. Let's say you find yourself in a heated debate on social media. Discernment helps you to pause and ask yourself, is this even worth my energy? Will engaging in this conversation bring me closer to who I want to be or further away? Sometimes discernment means stepping back to protect your space. Other times it means leaning in with your intention, choosing your words carefully and engaging thoughtfully. And here is something for you to consider. What's one challenge in your life where discernment could help you navigate with more clarity and confidence? Because challenges are an inevitable part of life. But with discernment, you can approach them with a sense of purpose and integrity. Something else I would like to add is that to design a life aligned with your truth it's helpful to approach discernment as a guiding principle. Here's how you can integrate into various areas of your life. Consider how your work aligns with your values. Does it feel fulfilling, or are you just going through the motions? If you feel disconnected, discernment will help you to identify small shifts that can bring you more purpose to your daily life or guide you towards a larger change, like pursuing a new role or a project. Also, how you spend or save your money is another area where discernment plays a key role. Take a moment to reflect whether your financial habits support your goals and values. For instance, if freedom is important to you, consider whether your spending choices help to create that freedom or whether they add unnecessary stress. And in the area of your relationships in general, audit your environment and pay attention especially to your relationships. Discernment helps you to navigate where to invest your time and energy and ask, are these relationships feeling one-sided and draining? On the other hand, who are those people who uplift and inspire you? And let's don't forget, your physical and emotional well-being are foundational to living an aligned life. Use your discernment to evaluate your health habits. Are they supportive, or are there areas where small adjustments could make a big difference? And finally, look at how you spend your time and energy. Are you saying yes to things out of obligation? Discernment will help you to set boundaries and prioritize what truly matters, freeing up space for the things that brings you joy and fulfillment. But I wanted to point it out as well here that as you take these steps, please remember to be kind to yourself, as this process requires self-compassion. You might not always get right, and that's okay. There will be moments of clarity and there will be also moments of doubt. This is part of the process. The key is to keep moving forward, guided by your values and the practice of discernment. What is one small change you could make this week to bring your life into greater alignment with your values? You see, because every choice you make, no matter how small, is an opportunity to design a life that feels authentic and fulfilling. And over time, those choices will become habits, and those habits will change the life you create. So take a deep breath and ask yourself, what is one thing today that can move me closer to my truth? Discernment is about living intentionally, aligning your actions with your values, and creating a life that truly feels yours. So now, let me ask you, what's the most important area of your life where applying discernment could bring you more peace and clarity? Let me know in the comments. I would love to hear your thoughts. But thanks for watching, and bye for now.